You know that feeling when you're talking to someone and you sense there's something more there, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Maybe she laughs a little longer at your jokes, or she finds reasons to be around you, and you're left wondering, is she just being friendly? Or is there actually something happening here? The truth is, when a woman wants to get closer to you, she's usually giving you signals. The challenge is that most of us either miss them completely or second-guess ourselves into paralysis. Hey, where are you watching from today? Are you currently trying to figure out if someone's interested in you? Or are you just curious about understanding connection better? Drop a comment below. I genuinely read them and your experiences help shape future videos. If you appreciate straightforward relationship advice that cuts through the confusion, hit subscribe so we can keep exploring these topics together. Here's something important to remember before we dive in. You're worthy of someone's genuine interest. If you're watching this wondering whether someone likes you, that hope you're feeling, that's valid. You deserve clarity, and you deserve someone who's excited to be close to you. So let's talk about the real signs that a woman wants to deepen the connection with you. Not the outdated games or manipulation tactics, but the authentic behaviors that show someone's genuinely interested. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Every person is different, and women express interest in countless ways depending on their personality, past experiences, and comfort level. Some are bold and direct. Others are subtle and cautious. There's no one-size-fits-all checklist, but there are patterns rooted in human psychology that show up consistently when someone wants to get closer to you. Understanding these patterns helps you read situations more accurately without projecting your hopes onto every interaction or missing genuine interest when it's right in front of you. One of the most reliable indicators is consistent effort to maintain connection. When a woman wants to be closer to you, she makes time and creates opportunities to interact. This isn't about grand gestures. It's about the steady, repeated choice to engage with you. She texts back with actual substance, not one-word responses. She asks you questions and remembers what you told her last week. She suggests plans or enthusiastically agrees when you suggest them. Research in relationship psychology shows that people prioritize what matters to them, and if she's consistently making space for you in her life, that's a powerful signal. Pay attention to how she responds when you reach out. Does she light up? Does the conversation flow naturally? Or does it feel like you're always the one initiating and carrying the interaction? When someone wants to get closer, the energy is reciprocal. That you're not wondering if you're bothering her because her responses make it clear she's happy to hear from you. She might even reach out first sometimes, sending you something funny she saw, asking how your day went, or just checking in because you crossed her mind. Another significant sign is her body language when you're together. Human beings are hardwired to physically orient toward what interests them. When a woman wants to be closer to you, her body shows it before her words do. She faces you directly during conversations. She leans in when you're talking. She finds subtle reasons for physical proximity, sitting next to you instead of across from you, walking close enough that your arms occasionally brush, or touching your arm when she's making a point or laughing at something you said. Studies in nonverbal communication reveal that we unconsciously mirror people we feel connected to. If she's mirroring your gestures, matching your energy, or synchronizing her movements with yours, that's her nervous system signaling comfort and connection. Eye contact becomes more frequent and lasts a bit longer than casual interaction requires. There's a quality to the way she looks at you, present, engaged, curious. She's not constantly checking her phone or scanning the room for something more interesting. Now here's something crucial that most dating advice overlooks. Genuine interest includes vulnerability. When a woman wants to get closer to you, she gradually opens up about herself in ways that go beyond surface-level conversation. She shares her thoughts, her experiences, her hopes, and yes, sometimes her fears or struggles. This doesn't mean she's trauma dumping on the first date. Healthy vulnerability is progressive and mutual, but it means she's letting you see the real her, not just the polished, impressive version she might present to acquaintances. She asks deeper questions too. Not just what do you do, but what made you choose that career? Or what's something you're working on right now in your life? When someone wants genuine closeness, they want to understand who you actually are, not just collect basic facts about you. She's curious about your perspectives, your values, what makes you laugh, what you care about. She remembers details from previous conversations and brings them up later, showing that what you share with her matters. Pay attention to how she talks about the future. This doesn't mean she's planning your wedding after 3 dates. That would be a red flag, not a green one. But when someone wants to get closer, they naturally start including you in their forward thinking. She mentions an event happening next month and says, "We should check that out," or "You'd love this thing I'm planning." She talks about her life in a way that has space for you in it. There's an implicit assumption of continuity, like you're both building towards something rather than just passing time. Let's talk about something that often confuses people: the difference between someone who wants to get closer to you and someone who just enjoys your attention. A woman who genuinely wants connection invests in getting to know you as a complete person. She's interested in your quirks, your ordinary moments, your challenges, not just your highlights. She wants to understand what's beneath the surface. Someone who just likes attention, on the other hand, tends to keep conversations focused on themselves, enjoys the validation you provide, but doesn't reciprocate the same level of interest in your inner world. Genuine interest also shows up in how she responds to your life. When you share good news, she's genuinely happy for you. When something's difficult, she shows empathy and support. She celebrates your wins without making them about her. She asks how your important meeting went or how your family member is doing after you mentioned they were sick. These small acts of care demonstrate that you're not just a character in her life. You're becoming someone whose well-being matters to her. Here's a pattern psychologists have identified in relationship formation. When people want to deepen connection, they create what researchers call escalating self-disclosure. This means the personal nature of what you share with each other gradually increases over time. If she's comfortable sharing more vulnerable or personal things with you as you get to know each other, and she's receptive when you do the same, that mutual deepening is a strong indicator that she wants genuine closeness. It's the difference between someone who keeps everything light and superficial versus someone who's willing to let you see who they really are. Another subtle but significant sign is how she talks about you to others. You might notice her mentioning you to mutual friends, or she tells you about how she was talking about you with her sister or her close friend. When someone wants you to be a bigger part of their life, they naturally start integrating the idea of you into their world. You're not kept separate from the rest of her life. You're gradually being woven into it. She's comfortable with her friends knowing about you, and she might even create opportunities for you to meet the people who matter to her. Pause for a second. What's been the most confusing signal you've received from someone you were interested in? Was it mixed messages, hot and cold behavior, or just uncertainty about where you stood? Drop your answer in the comments. Sometimes talking about these experiences helps us all recognize patterns we've missed. Let's address something important: the difference between interest and availability. Sometimes a woman might show signs of wanting to be closer, but external circumstances limit how much she can engage right now. Maybe she's in a demanding phase of her career, dealing with family issues, or healing from a previous relationship. Genuine interest paired with limited availability looks like someone who's honest about their situation, still makes effort within their constraints, and communicates clearly rather than leaving you guessing. Mixed signals from genuine circumstances are accompanied by clear communication. Mixed signals from lack of interest are accompanied by excuses and inconsistency. Speaking of communication, one of the clearest signs a woman wants to get closer is that she communicates openly and honestly with you. She tells you when something bothered her instead of playing games. She's clear about what she's looking for rather than keeping you guessing. She asks clarifying questions when she's unsure about something. Research on successful relationships consistently shows that healthy communication patterns form early. If she's establishing a foundation of honesty and directness from the beginning, she's not just interested in surface-level connection. She's interested in building something real. Notice how she responds to your boundaries and how she expresses her own. Someone who wants healthy closeness respects your limits and appreciates when you respect hers. She doesn't push you to move faster than you're comfortable with, and she's clear about her own pace. She values your consent and autonomy. This mutual respect is actually one of the strongest indicators of genuine interest because it shows she wants you to feel good about the connection, not just that she wants the connection at any cost. Here's something that separates authentic interest from manipulation. A woman who genuinely wants to get closer to you is happy for you to have a full life outside of her. She encourages your friendships, your hobbies, your personal growth. She's not threatened by your independence, she's attracted to it. She wants to be part of your life, not the entirety of it. Studies in relationship psychology show that people who maintain individual interests while dating actually build stronger connections. When she supports your autonomy while also wanting to be close to you, that's the sweet spot of healthy interest. Pay attention to consistency across different contexts. Does she seem interested when you're alone together but distant in group settings? Is she engaged through text but aloof in person? Genuine interest is relatively consistent. She's not performing affection in some contexts and withdrawing it in others as a strategy to keep you hooked. Her warmth toward you is genuine and therefore stable, even if it naturally varies with mood and circumstances like any human emotion does. Let's talk about the quality of your interactions. When a woman wants to get closer to you, being with her feels energizing more often than it feels draining. You leave your conversations feeling good about yourself, not confused or anxious. She brings out positive qualities in you. Maybe you're funnier around her, more thoughtful, more yourself. This doesn't mean every single interaction is perfect, but the overall pattern is one of mutual uplift. Psychological research on relationship satisfaction shows that positive emotional experiences need to significantly outweigh negative ones. And if the early stages already feel consistently good, that's her investment showing. Another telling sign is how she handles disagreements or awkward moments. Everyone has moments of misunderstanding or mild conflict. When a woman wants genuine closeness, she works through these moments rather than using them as an exit ramp. She gives you the benefit of the doubt. She's willing to have slightly uncomfortable conversations to clear the air. She doesn't disappear the first time things aren't perfectly smooth. This resilience in the face of normal relationship friction shows she's invested in making things work, not just enjoying the easy parts. Watch for what researchers call relationship-promoting behaviors. These are small actions that strengthen connection. Remembering your coffee order, sending you something that reminded her of you, making plans that suit your interests, not just hers, introducing you to her favorite things because she wants to share them with you. These behaviors show thoughtfulness and care. She's not just passively enjoying your company, she's actively nurturing the connection. Here's a sign that's easy to overlook. She's genuinely interested in your perspective, even when it differs from hers. She asks, "What do you think about this?" and actually listens to your answer. She doesn't need you to agree with everything she says. She finds your different viewpoints interesting rather than threatening. This intellectual and emotional curiosity indicates she values you as a complete person with your own mind, which is the foundation of genuine intimacy. Consider how she handles your vulnerabilities. When you share something personal or admit a struggle, does she meet it with compassion and support? Or does she minimize it, change the subject, or seem uncomfortable? A woman who wants real closeness can hold space for your authentic self, including the imperfect parts. She doesn't need you to be flawless. She's interested in knowing the real you. Studies show that how partners respond to vulnerability is one of the strongest predictors of relationship success, and these patterns establish themselves early. One more crucial indicator: she's reliable. She follows through on what she says she'll do. If she says she'll text you later, she does. If she makes plans with you, she keeps them unless something genuinely urgent comes up, and then she communicates and reschedules. Reliability is one of the most underrated signs of genuine interest. It's easy to say you want to be close to someone. It takes actual investment to consistently show up. Now, let's be honest about something important. Sometimes we see what we want to see. We interpret friendliness as romantic interest, or we hold on to small positive signals while ignoring larger patterns of disinterest. The key is looking at the overall picture, not cherry-picking the evidence that supports what we're hoping for. If you're constantly confused about where you stand with someone, if you're always the one initiating, if your interactions leave you feeling anxious more than excited, these are signals too, just not the ones we want to receive. The most important thing to remember is that genuine interest is relatively easy to recognize when you're seeing it clearly. It's consistent, reciprocal, growing, and feels generally good. If you're twisting yourself into knots trying to interpret someone's behavior, that confusion itself is information. When someone wants to be closer to you, they make it clear through their sustained effort, their emotional investment, and their consistent presence in your life. You deserve someone who's excited about getting closer to you, someone whose interest is clear and whose effort is consistent. You deserve someone who sees your value and chooses you repeatedly, not someone who keeps you guessing. The right person won't make you feel like you're reading tea leaves trying to figure out if they like you. They'll show you through their actions, their words, and their presence that they want you in their life. If someone's actions are making you feel valued and excited, that's information too. Pay attention to patterns over time, not just isolated moments. And most importantly, focus on people whose interest is clear enough that you're not constantly wondering if it exists. The right person will want to get closer to you, and you won't have to decode their behavior to see it. Until then, keep being your authentic self, keep your standards high, and trust that clarity is coming. Thanks for being here today. If this helped you see things more clearly, subscribe for more honest relationship content. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. I love hearing from you. You deserve someone who chooses you consistently, and I'll see you next time.